then we got to rack it up. We got to ratchet it up. You know what I'm saying? We can't shut it down if we're going to be going live. We need to ratchet the mother up, right? What is going on out there in the land of the unfree America? Welcome, everybody, to another rendition of Delete Lawz. My name is ChilleDeCastro. I will be your host tonight as we go down and take a look at some copper videos and all kinds of stuff. Do me a favor, though. Before we get going, can you hit the like button? Can you take your finger and just tap on the screen like that real quick? Hit the like button and then put in the chat for me. OTVO stands for Overturned Terry versus Ohio. And what exactly does that mean? There are four parts of the 1968 case of Terry versus Ohio. Number one, it puts officer safety over all your rights. Number two, it creates that term reasonable articulable suspicion that is not a part of the Constitution. Number three, it allows cops to touch you and grab you in the form of patting you down. Used to be the back of your hands on the outside of your trousers. Now it's on your knees, and they're going to put their... Then number four, it allows cops to detain you. And back in the day, that meant you had to stay in this little area. Today, that means that you go in torture cuffs on the grounds. That's what Terry versus Ohio does to this country, to these people here. What is up with the Playboy? What's going on, Playboy? What is going on, BS Unleashed? Kevin Bernarski's in the chat. Life under the motherfucking microscope. Chevy. Put Chevy in the chat 3 times and maybe he'll show up. Chevy. John Wick, I see you in the chat. What's going on? Eggsy, what's going on, my friend? Pumpernickel. I saw you yesterday, Pumpernickel, and I didn't get to say your name. I'm sorry. I wanted to get right into it. But if you're not sleeping under a rock today, maybe you guys saw this video of this dude right here getting his arm. I mean, I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure both the radius and is that what it is? Tibia and fibula, right? That's in your leg. And then it was at the radial and their own. What are the two bones right there? Chevy. Geo is in the chat. What's up with the Playboy? What is up with the Playboy? So let's watch a little bit of this because everybody has been watching this all day. Let me pull something up for you, but this video is riveting. This man is, and I'm going to read a synopsis for you here in a second, but let's watch this through one time, and then we're going to go back, and we're going to break it down in little tiny micro sections here, and we're going to get into the nitty-gritty detail. What's up?
Israel is the reason for this war. America does not want to fight this war for Israel.
Let's go. Come on, let's go.
America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war for Israel. Your inability to name that shows your exemptness as leaders. This is wrong. No. And nobody wants to fight for Israel.
A reminder to all our
Commandant, please stand up as a Marine and stand up for America. No one wants to fight for Israel. No one wants to fight for Israel.
His hand. Oh, his hand.
Sir. Let go of your hand. Let go of the door. Let go of the door.
The senator broke his hand. A sitting U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine.
Sir.
Control your Senate.
Arm stuck in the door. Okay, sir.
A U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine.
Hand stuck.
A U.S. senator.
So let's go back here to the beginning of this, though. Okay, so this man he's a Marine, so he doesn't want our boys, our Marines, to go to war for Israel. Put a 1 in the chat if that's what he's doing. If he's protesting that our boys, our Marines are being sent into Iran for Israel. So put a 1 in the chat if that's the first thing. I just want to be clear. I want you and I and everybody here to understand exactly what this man was protesting. That's all. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with that statement. I just want to see.
Israel is the reason for this war. America does not want to fight this war for Israel.
Let's go. Come on, let's go.
America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war.
Then, as you can see, then the cops go to this absolutely ridiculous level of violence that is completely and utterly uncalled for. There's no reason to attack him because he's protesting. You can lead him out with a couple of men. He's going to be screaming his protest. This particular protest is about Israel and that our Marines are being sent into Iran on behalf of Israel. And he'll continue to scream, but look at the level of violence that the police bring this encounter to. And what do you think is going to happen?
For Israel, your inability to name that shows your exemptness as leaders.
Look at the utter disdain and disrespect that the police have for a man who signed up for service to our country, even knowing a lot of guys know they sign up and they're being used as mercenaries around the world. But they need that on their resume. They want to serve their country. I come from a long military family. I understand exactly how they feel, the reason why they sign up. But look at the disrespect that the police have for our military.
This is wrong. And nobody wants to fight for Israel.
A reminder to all our
Commandant, please stand up as a Marine and stand up for America. No one wants to fight for Israel.
And now there it is right there. You heard it. You heard the crack, crack. Did you guys hear the crack, crack? You hear his bones crack? You hear his bones break right there?
America.
I think, I don't know if I find it ironic. I don't know if I find it ironic or just as soon as he gets done saying nobody wants to fight for Israel, both of his arms, both the bones in his arms break. You can hear it plain as day.
A reminder to all our
Commandant, please stand up as a Marine and stand up for America. No one wants to fight for Israel.
Jesus. I mean, just look at the amount of aggression and hostility. It can't be done calmly. It can't be done with any sort of respect for the person who's protesting. Clearly, the man is dressed up in full uniform, protesting the actions of the government. There's no reason you have to attack him. There's no reason the police have to attack him. And this is, I mean, we're going to watch it again here.
No one wants to fight for Israel.
His hand, his hand. Oh, his hand.
Sir. Let go of your hand. Let go of the door. Let go of the door. Can you
The senator broke his hand. A sitting.
Let me, this is just unbelievably terrible. Today on Capitol Hill, a protest broke out during a Senate Armed Service Committee hearing. The protester was Brian McGinnis, a U.S. Marine Corps veteran. McGinnis stood up during the hearing and began shouting opposition to a possible U.S. war with Iran. He reportedly yelled that Americans should not be sent to fight for a war for Israel. Capitol Police moved in to remove him from the hearing. That's a very mild way of putting it. That the Capitol Police moved in to remove him. The Capitol Police moved in with absolute, total, complete violence. During the struggle to remove him, Montana Senator Tim Chille physically assisted officers in pulling McGinnis out the door. I wonder how much money is Tim Chille? Can someone look it up for me? How much money does AIPAC give to Tim Chille? I'll put the proper naming, the proper spelling. His name is Tim Chille. That's his name. Someone look up how much money AIPAC gives to Tim Chille, because he's the guy that went running in to grab McGinnis, who was just simply protesting. In the altercation, McGinnis' arm was broken. Capitol Police later said 3 officers were also treated for minor injuries related to the scuffle. Well, I mean, look at them. They're completely, it's a joke. Video of the incident is spreading online and has sparked debate because the protester is a military veteran protesting another potential pointless, stupid, endless war in the Middle East. Now, I think the latest was that Trump was saying that we are going in there because we have to get the short-range missiles. What? Bush was like, oh, we've got to get the weapons of mass destruction. But now this one is, we got to get the missiles.
Israel is the reason for this war. America does not want to fight this war for Israel.
Let's go. Come on, let's go.
America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war for Israel. Your inability to name that shows your exemptness as leaders. This is wrong. And nobody wants to.
I mean, I'm not the only one who's trained wrestling and grappling and fighting. I'm not the only one. There's 300 people in the room. I'm not the only one who's trained. Okay. So anybody who's trained knows that
the war.
He has his arms outside the other guy's arms, not underneath of his armpits.
For Israel.
And
Your
then the other cop
ability to name that
is grabbing the other cop. This cop, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, I constantly will. This cop right here is grabbing the other cop right there. Do you see that? And he's got this mean on his face. And what he's actually doing is he's grabbing the other cop right there. You see that? He's not grabbing the soldier, which is a really weird thing. But
shows your exemptness as leaders.
Then he puts his hand up on the Marine's face. And now he's got his hand up on top, not on his neck where he can do a collar tie and pull the man down. No, he has his hand here on just the side of his face for some reason. Now he's pushing on the side of the man's head. The other guy has no control position there. He's just dragging.
This is wrong.
Why does he still have his hand on his face?
And nobody wants to fight for Israel.
A reminder to all our
Commandant, please stand up as a Marine and stand up for America.
Now, that's the most ironic part to me, and I'm going to zoom in on it a little bit, so we're going to lose a little bit. Excuse me. The most ironic part to me is that the Marine himself, he's the one that hits the door that swings it so that it closes on his own arm. Watch.
reminder to all our
Commandant, please stand up as
So ready?
a Marine.
Right.
And stand
There. He pushes the door that's now going to trap his own arm.
up. Let's go.
Now he hooks the door, and this door is going to trap his arm so that it can't get out.
For America.
There it is right there. You see that? Wow. Now his arm is locked in. And now these meathead cops are not going to be able to help themselves. They have to we're just going to, by brute force rip you out of these doors.
No one wants to fight for Israel.
Jeez, Jiminy Crickets. Jiminy Crickets, man. That was just brutal. That was just...
No one wants to fight for Israel. No one wants to fight for Israel.
His hand, his hand. Oh, his hand.
So that is his bone, right? Yeah, his bone's see this right here? I believe that's going to be bone if I'm...
For Israel!
His hand, his...
Oh, snap. Oh, damn. Damn. Is that his bone right there?
hand.
Yeah, man. Because your wrist doesn't go to a point right there. So that is the end of his bone right there. That is just disgusting.
Oh, his hand.
Ooh. Now look at the cops. The cops all have him still. Do you see that? All the cops back here, the guy's arm's been snapped, right? It's compound fractured. But the cops back here, all they're concerned about is ripping him out the door.
Hand.
They're still pulling. Look at the look on his face. He's still tugging and ripping like just a dumb copper. They're not all dumb cops. There's some very, very good cops out there. But this particular cop looks like he's dumb as a box of rocks. He's still pulling. You can hear everybody gasping. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, right? You guys double tap, hit the screen. Make sure you're subscribed. Let's keep going.
Sir. Let go of your hand. Let go of the door. Let go of the door. Can you
The senator broke his hand.
Then do you see the thing he does with the guy's head right here? This to me, like he was already like putting the hand on the side of the face and like pushing on here. He was like doing some really weird shit. But then this right here to me, watch this and tell me if you see what I see. He's got his hands like all over the guy's, it's like so weird. Like, what was he doing right there? Did you just see it? Let me play it back slow again here if I can. Watch him like rubbing his hands on the guy's head and face right here on the Marine's face. Watch. What is he doing? Do you not see it? Do you not see it? What is he doing with the guy's head? Yo, PBE86 with a super chat. What's up, Playboy? What's up, Playboy? Let me get 5 matches. How big of a room do we have? I haven't even looked. 480 people. What's up, Playboy? You guys sound off. Where's everybody watching from? Where is everybody watching from? Is DaNeLLe BrOwN in the room? This is a late night stream for her. I'm going to hit the gym super late, but I'm doing a late night stream for DaNeLLe BrOwN and my crew on my text crew. So what's up, Playboy? But is that not some weird shit he's doing to the guy's head? Where's everybody from? What's going on? Okay. I just got to get this. We just got to talk about this head rubbing thing. Now that I showed you what to look for, please pay very close attention to the rubbing of the Marine's head. Okay? What is he doing? What is he doing?
The senator broke his hand. A sitting U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine.
Sir.
Control your Senate.
Arm stuck in the door. Okay, sir.
A U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine.
Hand stuck.
A U.S. senator.
I mean, that looked like just such complete and total pain. That looked really, really bad. That looked...
Good morning. I stopped you for a cell phone violation. Are you okay? Is there an emergency?
Yeah, I was actually trying to figure out something really important. Sorry, I didn't.
Okay, so when I say emergency, I'm thinking like you're on your way to the ER to save your life.
No.
So now the programming gets a little bit serious here. So stretch out, get yourself ready, because this is some pretty brutal shit right here. You can barely see it, but you can see it. There's a dog, and it's on the guy's throat. There's a dog on the man's throat, and there's 2 cops on top of the man. I don't have a lot of information on this. And then the cop is going to pew the guy right in the back of the head. This is some brutal shit right here. So hold on to your hat.
And then I'm going to grab the thing. You on his stomach. Both hands.
Okay, so if you see, I'm going to zoom in here. This guy's on his stomach, and there's cops on top of him. You see the leg right here? There's a cop on top of him, like almost like squatting on top of him. You can see it.
Behind his back.
It's kind of hard to tell what is going on exactly, but there's a guy who's on his back, and he's got the torture cuffs on, and
he's not.
Boom. Then he shot him right in the back of the head right there.
You on his stomach. Both hands behind his back. He's not.
Boom.
Oh my God!
Shot him right in the back of the head.
They Matilda, my son.
But I'm not done with this here, because I saw this and I screen recorded it before it got deleted off the internet, because when cops execute people, they'll often delete it off the internet.
And then I'm going to grab the thing. You on his stomach. Okay,
so there's 2 cops. One has a flashlight on that side. One is on this side. You can see his foot. His foot is here. You can see his foot is right here. That's the copper's foot right there. And that's the copper's leg, and there's the blue jeans he's wearing. On the other side over here, this is another copper who's got the flashlight. There's a man on the ground here on his belly. You can see there's his boot right there. You can see that there's a man on his belly. He's already in torture cuffs, okay? That's an important factor that we have to consider here. He's already in torture cuffs. And there's a dog. You can't see it very well, but there's a dog biting at the man's shoulder or throat. I can't see exactly. That's why I'm showing this. Okay, there it is. That's a little better look right there. That's a little better look. You can see it just a little bit better.
Behind his back.
Okay, so you can see that there's a flashlight coming down. You see the guy with the flashlight.
He's not.
And right there, gunshot. Did you see the gunshot? Gunshot. You guys see the gunshot? Did you guys see the gunshot? Put a 1 if you saw the gunshot. Put a 1 if you saw the gunshot. I'm so sorry. I just want to make sure everybody's seeing this. Put a 1 if you guys saw the gunshot. Did you see the gunshot?
His stomach, both hands behind his back. He's not.
Boom, right there. Blew his brains out right on the sidewalk.
Oh my God!
And then there's the dog. You saw the dog right there still tearing at his shoulder or his neck. I can't see what it was.
Oh man!
And then I'm going to grab the thing. You on his stomach. Both hands behind his back. He's not.
Oh my God! Oh man! They Matilda, my son. They shot him in the back of the head. And while they had his head tied behind, while they were holding both his hands, they shot him in his head. And that's only 2 of the shots. They executed my baby. They held his hands behind his back. So what you see on the news, when you see the officer, not the one that was straddling him, that shot him in the back of the head, but the one holding the gun, that's the one that shot him in his hands while his partner was shooting him in the...
So that's what the man looked like. It's not racist. He just happened to be black. Okay, don't call it racist. It's not right. Cops will kill anybody. He just happened to be black. You're just 3 times more likely to be killed if you're black. But this was not racist, okay? I say that completely inconclusively. And this is what the gentleman looked like. It looked like this guy had a life. It looked like he had a life, and it was just taken away from him in a millisecond, in just 2 seconds flat. They had him on the ground, and I mean, and this is the whole reason, you know, the whole reason that I teach you guys to go to touchdown position, use the trifold when you get pulled over, invoke your Fifth Amendment right, don't fight the cops, put your hands up, you know, don't answer any questions, just invoke your Fifth Amendment cop card, right? And this is the reason why I do it. The reason why I teach you guys to just completely put your hands up and say, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right, is because if you don't, they'll kill you. They'll absolutely kill you.
He on his stomach, both hands behind his back. He's not. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh, see, there's still a dog on there.
Hands behind his. I'm gonna grab the thing. He on his stomach, both hands behind his back. He's not.
See, it's so hard to make out.
And then I'm gonna grab the thing. He on his stomach, both.
Okay, see, it's even that's hard to make out.
And I'm gonna grab the thing.
You see the dog's tail back there in the back? You see the dog's tail back here? Let me move my own self here. You can see the dog's tail back here. You can't really see what's happening as well. Okay, you saw the dog's tail there. Now, there's a guy who's on his stomach for sure. There's a guy on his stomach for sure. Okay, now there's someone on top of him, and there's someone on the far side of him with the flashlight. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see it. There's a guy with the flashlight right there. You can see it.
Both hands behind.
You see that? That is such a strange picture, but I think, I mean, that is a dude squatting, pretty much squatting over the top of the guy, right? Like that's the guy's blue jacket right there, and that's his butt, and that's his quad, and that's his calf, and that's his shoe right there, right? And he's got a beanie on right here, right? We can see that. So that is what's happening, right? He is on the back of a guy who looks like he's wearing a yellow jacket, black guy. We just saw a picture of him a second ago as we heard from his mama. And then it looks like he's on the ground there. And there's a guy over here with a flashlight, and he's obscured right now behind the guy in the black jacket or blue jacket. Do we all see that? I just want to make sure that we all see the same thing here.
His back. He's not.
And then they shot him in the back of the head right there. Am I confused about anything that I'm talking about here? I just want to make sure.
And then I'm going to grab the thing. He on his stomach. Both hands behind his back.
Okay, so there's that shot I stopped at a second ago, but I want to go right. I want to go right here. PBE86 with another super chat. What's up, Playboy? Thanks for the super chat. Sorry, you guys. I'm sorry I'm not engaging with the crowd very much right now. I just want to make sure that I want to see what I'm seeing here, because I want to make sure that we can break down exactly what we are seeing. So now I'm 100% sure that this is a dude on top of a man, because there's the man's shoes right there. There's his pants. There's his knee behind that tree right there. And there's his ankle, and there he is face down on the ground. And there he's got the hands behind the back. There's a guy with a flashlight there. We're seeing the same things, right? We're seeing the same things. I want to make sure we're seeing the same things here. Then he shot him in the back of the head right there. It was so quick.
And then I'm going to grab the thing. He on his stomach. Both hands behind his back. He's not. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh, man. They Emma killed my son.
I mean, put a 1 in the chat if we just witnessed a murder. Put a 1 in the chat if we just witnessed a murder. I just want to know what you guys think. Did we just witness a murder? Was that a murder? That looked like a murder to me. And now the woman is going to come on here. It's grainy, but Dan Hanlon, what's up, Playboy? Drop Zone's here. Good to see you. Death Angel's here. Sorry, what's going on? Sorry. Johnny, how you doing? Tom, what's going on, dude? What is going on, MK? How are you? John Lunn, what's up, Playboy? What's up with the Playboy? What's going on? What is going on? PBE, I see you, brother. No proxies in the... Larry's in the chat. Mark, who else is in the chat? John, I see you in the chat. Jody Shiloh is in the chat. Can I get Team DLZ? Can you put Team DLZ in the chat? Soy Leal, can you just put Team DLZ in the chat? I still don't see a mother trucking Chevy. Butch the original. Cope Dogged Dog. Skin E. What is going on, my friend? Bama fam. Charmin, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. WM, how are you? Yeah, he just happened to be black. I promise it wasn't racist, right? Right? I mean, there's no reason. They didn't stop him because he was black. That could not have happened. It could not have happened. So it probably wasn't racist. Because they didn't stop him for racist reasons, then it probably wasn't racist the reason why they offed him either. Right? Right? Okay. Right, Francisco? Right? All right.
They shot him.
And then I'm going to grab the thing. He on his stomach. Both hands behind his back. He's not. Oh, my God.
Open the door.
Sir, get your hands out of my car.
So now I want to show you guys this, and I want to remind everybody here that the whole reason that this interaction right here can happen is because of the 1968 case called Terry versus Ohio. OTVO, put it in the chat. This guy right here, everything that's happening to him right here is because of Terry versus Ohio.
Get your hands out of my car.
This is
Get
very
out of
illegal.
Get your hands out of my car. Don't tase me. I didn't do anything.
You were given a lawful order. Open the door.
Please
Open
film
the
all this.
door. You are obstructing an investigation. Film all you want. It's on video already.
We have not done anything.
You were stopped on a lawful order. Now open your door.
A lawful order? What are you talking
your
about?
Door now.
Is that an order?
Yes, it's an order. Open your door.
Call us. We gotta call the
You're
police.
obstructing an investigation. Open your door.
What about the
You
sheriff?
spitter.
Reach in a bag.
We're not reaching in the
You're
bag.
not reaching anything.
He's getting a bottle.
Open your door.
Get that thing pointed away from my
No,
face.
it's a taser. Get out of the car.
This guy.
This is
out of
unbelievable.
control.
This is
This is out of
unbelievable.
control. Is that an
Unbelievable.
order?
Yes, it is.
Under what authority?
Mine. Now get out of the car.
What authority are you doing
Get
this
out
under?
of the car. Open the door.
Sir, get your hands out of my car. Get your hands out of my car.
This is
Get out
very
of here.
illegal.
Get your hands out of my car. Don't tase me. I didn't do anything.
Open the door.
I mean, to me, that is wild that the cop would stick a taser in through the slot. They wonder why we don't want to roll the window down. And then the copper would just take that taser and stick it all the way in up to the man's temple. And there's not a single taser handbook anywhere online or that you can find in the history of the taser weapon that advises police to shoot somebody in the face with a taser. That is not, it does not go in the handbook. I guarantee you the manufacturer of this particular non-lethal device would have a real problem with this video and say, officer, that is not the intended usage of the taser weapon. That is preposterous. That is just unbelievable that this is even considered. He should be suspended, if not fired. Even if this man is pulled over for a legitimate reason, there's no reason he should be tasered in the face because he didn't comply with the cop.
A lawful order. Open the door.
Please
Open
film
the
all this.
door. You are obstructing an investigation. Film all you want. It's on video already.
We have not done anything.
You were.
That's funny. Film all you want. It's on video already. That's what the copper said.
Already.
We have not done any.
Film all you want. It's on video already.
We have not.
You're not going to get that video. I have an email address. You're welcome to email me your story. can'tgetbodycam@gmail.com. That's my email address. It's a legitimate Gmail address that I have thousands of emails from people who can't get the body camera footage. And since I started that email 4 years ago plus, it only grows with new emails of people who watch one of these videos 4 weeks down the line when someone rewatches this video, and then they send an email to can'tgetbodycam@gmail.com where they can't get the body camera footage. So he says, I'm recording too. Do not think you're going to be able to get that video because you highly likely will not be able to get it.
You are obstructing an investigation. Film all you want. It's on video already.
We have not done anything.
You were stopped on a lawful order. Now open your door.
A lawful order? What are you talking
your
about?
Door now.
Is that an order?
Yes, it's an order. Open your door.
Call.
Now, the reason why it's a lawful order to order you out of the car is because of the 1977 case of Pennsylvania versus Mims, where the cops can legally order you out of the car, except for in the state of Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania State Supreme Court said, no, it's a giant Fourth Amendment violation to order someone out of your car. In the state of Pennsylvania, you don't got to get out of the car. In every other state in America, you have to get out of the car in the name of officer safety. That name of officer safety, that idea comes from Terry versus Ohio. Without everything being in the name of officer safety, there would be no Pennsylvania versus Mims.
So we got to call the police.
You're obstructing an investigation. Open your door.
What about the sheriff?
Reach in a bag.
We're not reaching in the bag.
You're not reaching anything.
He's getting a bottle.
Open your door.
Get that thing pointed away from my face.
Get out of the car.
This guy.
This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
Is that an order?
Yes, it is.
Under what authority?
Mine. Now get out of the car.
What authority are you doing
Get
this
out
under?
of the car.
Sir?
What I find the most ironic about this video is when this gentleman here says, call the police. It's been ingrained in us, especially if you're Gen X or older, that you can call 911 and there's going to be somebody there to help you. That has never been more untrue than it is today. Put a 1 in the chat if you don't think calling 911 is going to help you. Right? East Carbon Exposed. I see you in the chat. Dan Hanlon. Don Andre Investigations. What's up, Playboy? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Butch the Original. What is going on? How is everybody? Soy Leo. What's up, Playboy? What's up with the Playboy? What's going on? Good to see you, William. How are you, my friend? Yeah, well, is that how it's working in the real world, though, William? That's not how it's working in the real world.
Get your hand.
Yeah, this story kind of blew up, but
Town, Pennsylvania.
This one here.
Shot randomly into their South Phoenix home on January 26th, Christian Diaz-Rendon's wife and children kept calling 911. As they huddled in back rooms to avoid the bullets, multiple emergency dispatchers promised them that police were on their way. As police neared the house, family members told dispatchers that Rendon had subdued the shooter.
Oh, my dad is hitting him.
Your dad is hitting the guy with the gun?
Yeah.
You guys got him down?
Yeah, they have him down.
That's not the guy that's in the green.
Others, rushing out of the house's open front door, told the advancing officers the same thing. Despite that warning, 5-year veteran officer Jason Valenzuela fired a single shot through.
No, is this it? Yeah, here it is. I found it. Cool. This is what I was actually looking for right here. That wasn't the video I was actually looking for. Let me show you the one I was looking for. Whoops. Sorry about that. Let me show you the video I was actually looking for here. This is the one. This shows the body camera footage of the whole.
And we begin with breaking news. Phoenix police have released body cam video from a shooting near 73rd Avenue and Lower Buckeye Road.
Just last week, police admitted that they fatally shot the wrong person.
It's funny. They say release body cam footage of the cops shooting the wrong man. They don't ever say that. They don't ever slant it properly. Especially in Phoenix, where the cops are some of the most corrupt in the country.
When responding to that shooting.
Let's get right to 12 News journalist Chase Golightly with the first look at this video. And Chase, I mean, it really, I think, spells out exactly what happened here.
Troy Tram, exactly. The video released by police about an hour ago has 911 calls, body camera video, and ring camera video of the shooting. The officer who shot and killed Christian Diaz has been with the department for 5 years. Now, before we get to the video, I kind of want to set the scene for you. Christian Diaz and his family were at their home when all of a sudden they say their landlord's son came by and started firing multiple shots at the home, even hitting a 19-year-old inside the home. They say he went around the back door, came inside when Diaz and another man wrestled that suspect to the ground, and they say they disarmed him. So let's go ahead and take you to that body camera video. While that altercation was happening, you can see
they disarmed him.
The officer make his way to the home. Now, you don't hear any gunshots while this is going on. Again, the family's saying they disarmed that suspect. You can hear people screaming, a lot of chaos outside. This is the officer firing one shot into the doorway and then running into the home. He doesn't announce himself. All he says is, "Let me see your hands," and again, just fires one shot, killing Diaz, the victim in this case. Now, the suspect has been identified as Edgar Garcia, who, again, shot multiple shots at the home and was arrested facing multiple charges in this case. Now, right after this video came out, I spoke with the attorney representing the Diaz family, telling me this whole situation could have easily been prevented.
If he took his time, I think absolutely he would have avoided killing the wrong person. The bigger problem that I have is that it appears to me that he was more concerned with his safety than the safety of any of the people who were standing around him. There was a toddler just feet behind the two men.
Now, he told me Diaz's loved ones have not seen the video. He says he plans on going over to their home later today so they can watch it together. He knows it's going to be very traumatizing for them to have to relive through this whole experience. And as we mentioned earlier, we learned Garcia, the suspect, has been indicted by the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, facing multiple charges, including first-degree murder. We'll have more on this story coming up at 5 o'clock. For now, we're live in the studio. Chase.
It's just absolutely horrible. It's ridiculous, and it always is, because there's no accountability for the cops. So let me read what this blurb is about this specific situation. Phoenix police are under heavy scrutiny. So shamelessness isn't something that the cops care about. Shamelessness is a virtue with policing. Phoenix police are under heavy scrutiny after officers shot and killed the wrong man during a chaotic call on January 26th in Southwest Phoenix. The victim, 36-year-old Christian Diaz Rendon, had actually called for help after an armed intruder began shooting at his home. And then he called the police. And then the cops came and they shot him. Diaz was physically fighting and trying to restrain the gunman, but an officer reportedly mistook Diaz as the suspect, firing one round and killing him. Police leadership later confirmed the man was shot was not the intended suspect. Police leadership later acknowledged that Diaz was not the intended suspect. Really? You killed the wrong person. You killed the wrong man altogether. Okay, so I'm glad you admitted that you killed the wrong person. Chevy! What's up, Playboy? Chevy's in the chat. What's up, buddy? So they killed the wrong person, but an officer mistook him as the suspect and fired one shot and killed him. Police leadership confirmed he was not the intended subject. I think the suspect. And the family says officers ignored warnings that Diaz was the homeowner and was trying to stop the attacker. So officers ignored warnings that Diaz was trying to stop the guy who had come into his house. and yet they still shot him and killed him. The investigation is ongoing, and the family is demanding accountability. And, you know, the worst part about it is Sally Stanley is here, Chevy's here, the Joker's here, Geo is here, Butch the original, PBE86. Thanks for coming, guys, right? If they killed me, in a year, my name would just be another hashtag in a sea of hashtags of people that are killed by the police. It would be hashtag justice for Chille. Hashtag justice for... It's just so unbelievable. And it just keeps happening. They just keep on killing people and getting away with it. And it can kind of drive you like a little bit, you know, that's what I think. I mean, I don't know what happened to James Freeman. I have no idea what happened to him. But just so you guys know, it's a lot of pressure being a civil rights activist. It's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of people. Oh, here's the body camera footage. Okay. Was this the one that we watched yesterday, though? I want to show you guys this. It's a lot of pressure being the tip of the spear taken on the government. It's a lot. It requires a lot. Maybe, is this the one? Maybe I didn't get it. Sorry about that. And sometimes it can be pretty thankless. How are these the same? That's not even possible. I don't even think that's the same. What is going on? Are we still got a crowd here? Still got some people here as I am fumbling the damn keys. Well, both the URLs for this video are the same. All right. I'll do a little comedy relief in between the Phoenix shooting, because the Phoenix shooting is so intense anyway, where they killed the wrong dude. But this to me is the funniest shit ever, because he's praying to the guy that wants the cops to do this to us. It's the craziest shit I've ever heard. I saw this and I was like, oh my God, people have to see this.
Donald Trump, if you can hear us, please, Donald Trump, please save me. Please save me, Donald Trump, please. I'm asking you. Please save me. Please save me. Please get these people away from me. In dear God's name, please stop these people.
They're breaking. He's praying to Donald Trump, who is a back the blue king, that Donald Trump is going to come and save him. I find that to be the most ironic shit I have ever seen. Ever. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite as ironic as that one. That is just literally, it's almost like someone saying that they're calling for the cops, when the cops are the ones that are sitting there beating them and abusing them and cheating them. So it's, I just, whatever. I mean, like, I don't even know how to relate to the guy. I don't even know what to say. Like, oh, this video, I know a lot of people are going to be mad, but I don't care. I'm going to show it anyway, because this to me is like the epitome of what's happened in our country, and I'm going to show it. So you guys can complain about it all you want if you don't like it, but the funniest part about this video, and I'll read the caption to you at the top. You have an accent too. And this is so raw and so real. So, you know, a lot of the Border Patrol agents are former Proud Boys, or they're immigrants who are on green card that will do anything for the government, including get a lot of money to grab and deport your fellow brown-skinned people.
Why are you asking me for my paperwork? Because of your accent. You have an accent too. Where were you born, sir? Where were you born, sir? Born at. Put your hands behind your back.
Ramon Monero was detained by U.S. Border Patrol agents outside his home.
Why are you asking me for my paperwork? Because of your accent. You have an accent too. Where were you born, sir? Where were you born at? Put your hands behind your back.
Ramon Monero was detained by U.S. Border Patrol agents outside his home in a Minneapolis.
I mean, is it a Border Patrol agent, or is it just someone who has a green card or wants a green card, or is even not even a citizen yet but wants to be a citizen, willing to do anything that the government asks them to do? How do we know where the stack of applicants came from?
Suburb after an agent questioned whether he was a citizen because of his accent.
I'm from this country. You know what, sir? Now talking to you, hearing that you have an accent, I have reason to believe that you are not born of this country. So you just raised an accent? What country are you from?
According to Monero, agents took a photo of him and searched a system that indicated he's been a U.S. citizen since 2019. They also checked his U.S. passport card, which he keeps in his wallet, before letting him go. Monero, who was born in Mexico and obtained a U.S. passport in 2021, was detained in front of his 5-year-old daughter.
Well, she was shaking when I got in the home, and she's like...
So it's so funny how, and I think that we all do it. We all say that you were just detained. But the truth is, the absolute truth is that right now, this man being walked off to a caged car, this man is being tortured because he's in torture cuffs. And I guarantee you the Border Patrol agents, who are really green card holders themselves, most likely, they put those cuffs on real tight. So, and you hear the media, the news, the state-run billionaire media say he was detained in front of his kid. No, he wasn't. He was physically attacked and hurt. Because after those torture cuffs come off, not only do your wrists hurt, not only is the skin gouged and your bones are bruised, your back is all kinked up and messed up from your body's contorted in some weird position. And if you don't fit like I don't, sometimes they'll just force your scapula together to get your wrists to get close enough so they can get those real small hinge cuffs on you, the ones that are really double the torture.
Well, she was shaking when I got in the home, and she's like, "Are you okay? That we're gonna take you? I don't want to lose you." And I'm like, "You're not gonna lose me." Even though I'm a citizen, I'm still feel afraid because they don't care if you're a citizen or not. And especially because I know I have a really strong accent speaking English. I know I can be a target because that's who are they targeting, just because our appearance and because of our accent.
CNN has contacted the Department of Homeland Security for comment on the incident and to ask if agents are allowed to temporarily detain people on the street with accents.
I got another part of that that video of the Marine, another angle here. It looks like there's another angle. Let me pop this in and let's see what it looks like real quick here. This is the same Marine video that we watched earlier, but this is now remember, this guy's arm at this point, if he's out the door, his arm has already been snapped. The two bones in his forearm broke together, compound fractured out. Part of the bone came out down here. You can't see it because it's under his shirt.
Why are you here? Why are you getting arrested?
Free Palestine, from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. Palestine will be free.
Oh my God, they broke his arm. Oh man. We just witnessed a Marine veteran interrupting the hearing, and they broke his arm.
Why did he interrupt the hearing?
Because there is a war in Iran, and our military brothers and sisters are going to die for Israel, and we are here to say no, we do not support Israel.
I mean, that was the best shot of the bone sticking out of his arm.
We are here to say no, we do not.
No, I agree with her.
In Iran, and our military brothers and sisters are going to die for Israel, and we are here to say no, we do not support Israel. We do not want to die for Israel. Stop the war in Iran right now.
And what did they do to him?
They pulled him out, got his arm trapped in a door, broke his arm, tackled him to the ground. It was a very, very intense situation.
Please stand up as a Marine and stand up for America.
America does not want to fight this war in Iran, and the soldiers don't, right, Brian?
No, they don't. American citizens don't want to send their sons and daughters to fight in Iran. We're fighting for Israel.
One more, just so you don't trip it off, please.
No, this has gone. Just so you guys know, I'm just kind of combing. I'm kind of combing the internet right now as I'm watching this Marine and what he went through here. And this is on the Australian news network.
No one wants to fight for Israel.
His hand.
Oh, they snapped his. This is on News AU, Australian network. So this has gone super viral.
Let go of your hand. Let go of the door. Let go of the door.
What I mean, and there's that weirdo rubbing his head all the time. What is up with him rubbing the guy's head all the time?
Let go of your hand.
Him.
Let go of the door.
This guy.
Let go of the door.
The senator broke his hand.
What the hell is that guy doing?
U.S. senator just broke the
I'm
hand.
telling you, I am not off on this. This cop right here, either he knows nothing about combat and is just trying to be creative the way he tries to attack somebody, or he's a fucking weirdo, man. Watch him grab the guy's head, start like rubbing on his head. Watch.
Let go of the door. Let go of the door.
The senator broke his.
Like, that was just so fucking weird. I can't get over it. Now that cop coming in the scene is gonna rub this man's head like he's trying to like rub a genie's bottle or something. This is the weirdest shit ever.
Let go of your hand.
Okay, so watch the cop. I swear to God, if I gotta make this thing go playback speed. Okay. Watch. Look at his hands. What are you doing to that dude's head, you freaking weirdo? That is some weird ass shit right there. That is some weird shit. Is he still grabbing the guy's head, though?
Sir. Okay. Arm stuck in the door. Okay, sir.
A U.S. senator just broke the head of a Marine. Hand stuck.
I mean, that's why it's riveting. This is not AI. You guys, listen. It's not his fault for saying that, but it's not AI. And salam Allah, what's going on, my friend? Everything is not AI. I know a lot of things are, though, so I don't blame you for saying it, actually.
U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine. You're a coward. Punk. What do you say? Senator? That's why you got kicked out, fat ass.
Everybody sit down, please. Sit down, please. Everybody sit down, please. Everybody sit down, please.
I'm getting out of here.
That's fine. Everybody sit down, please.
Is your hand okay?
No, it's not.
This is disgusting. Disgusting.
Just pull it out.
Yeah. So we got to watch this. This is just take a second, but we got to watch this because, I mean, is Dumpster Fire going to pardon her for stealing the money? Because so she's, I mean, this is like
notice from your.
So like this is so, I mean, this woman right here, she steals $143 million with pure embezzlement. Watch this.
Two of them were
That's
chosen.
inaccurate, Madam Secretary. I'll read from the notice from your agency. Given the immediate action to significantly reduce illegal immigration and border crossings, DHS identified 4 companies. 4 of the hundreds of thousands of companies in the United States. You identified 4. One of those is this Safe America Media company. Where is Safe America Media headquartered?
I don't know.
I don't know either, Madam Secretary. We can't find it. We can't find a website. We did find an address that's registered for this company. Do you know where that address is?
Is there a problem with this contract?
I'll
Because
tell you
was
about
done
it.
according to
Madam
law.
Secretary,
It was done by
the
career
address is
officials.
registered to a political
It was
operative.
dollars that were spent
Madam Secretary, the company,
inform
and then
people
I'll give you an
that the
opportunity to
laws-
respond.
Look,
The company is registered to a political operative in Virginia. Do you know, just by way of example, whether this company that received $143 million in taxpayer dollars, has it ever done work for the government before?
I don't know. I can't.
The answer is it has not. And do you know why we know that? Because it was incorporated 8 days before this contract went out. You want the American people to believe that this is all above board? Yes, that $143 million of taxpayer money just happened to go to this one company that doesn't have a headquarters, doesn't have a website, has never done work for the federal government before, and is registered, apparently, or attached to a residence from a political operative. And of course, one of the subcontractors of that contract, as you know, is a political firm that's tied to you back when you were governor of South Dakota. The reason why I ask these questions is that this is taxpayer money. And I presume, I don't know this for a fact, but Senator Tillis noted yesterday the way in which your agency is blocking the Inspector General from 11 different investigations that it is trying to conduct. I don't know if this happens to be one of them. I certainly hope it is, because eventually the facts will become public in this regard. And
yeah, wow. You thought that was bad. What this one gets, I mean, so she may have embezzled $143 million of taxpayers' money. It went to a company that was only incorporated 8 days earlier. And then this is the one that I was like, wow.
So Secretary Noem, at any time during your tenure as Director of Department of Homeland Security, have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Mr. Chairman, I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid.
No. Her husband, just in case you guys don't know, the big rumor is that this chick is having an affair with Corey Lewandowski, who's one of Trump's like right-hand henchmen. And her husband is sitting right behind her in the gallery, and they ask her, hey, have you been having sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski? And she just refuses to answer the question.
You had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski.
Mr. Chairman, I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today.
Reclaiming
and
my
ma'am,
time.
one thing that I would tell you is that he is a special government employee who works for the White House. There are thousands of them in the federal government.
So reclaiming
and
my
is an
time,
advisor
Secretary, it is
and has
okay for
no,
you to be
no
offended
authority
by
to
the
be
question.
making any
It is
decisions.
okay for you to
has
be
no
offended
authority
by the
to
question.
Be, making
but it is
decisions
also
and
a
putting
real
up a
question.
position. So what I would say
and
to
you
you
should be able to
is
answer
that
the question.
what we do at the Department of Homeland Security every single
and without
day,
any hesitation,
every single day is to protect
if
this
someone
country
is
and
asking
to make
if
decisions.
you or any federal official is sleeping with their subordinate, that should be the easiest. You should be wanting to answer that question.
As garbage,
because it is not about
it is
your sex
offensive
life.
that you have brought
it is
that up.
about your
So
judgment.
that kind of garbage
It is
has
about
been refuted
reclaiming
for
my
years,
time so
and
that
you
I
need
can
to
hear myself.
recognize-
Time belongs to the gentlelady from California, but it'd be nice if you would let her respond.
I will. I want to let you know it is about your judgment and decision-making. It is about the 260,000 employees that work under you that want to make sure that you are giving information and making decisions clearly. It is about conflict of interest. It is about a national security risk. Department of Homeland Security was created right after 9/11 to protect the homeland. And DHS has circulated an internal bulletin to law enforcement partners warning that the conflict of the war we're in could inspire lone actors or small-scale cyber activity inside the United States, according to a memo obtained by ABC News. So American lives are at risk. The people who work for you are at risk. And they want to know that the person at the top, you, are making decisions clearly, without any sort of cloudiness, and that they're your decisions because you're the secretary who was confirmed. That's what this is about. Saving the lives of Americans and not costing them millions of dollars, and not having a secretary who's compromised in her decision-making.
Yeah, that was just part of it. That was just the heated, but there was a little bit more to it than that.
The gentlelady from California is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Secretary, for joining us. Finally, you are in charge of protect.
Yo, thanks for the super chat. I hate it when they dodge or dance around the questions like cops go around our constitutional rights. PBE86 with a $5 super chat. What's up, Playboy?
The homeland. And so your judgment and the judgment of your senior staff can be the difference between life and death. So I think that judgment would need to be unassailable. Why then, is the question, have you made Corey Lewandowski your de facto chief of staff who possesses an unchecked level of power at DHS? Under your leadership, this person has done things like fire your FEMA administrator while sitting behind your desk, which is your job to do, lobby to build the controversial detention facility known as Alligator Alcatraz, which has turned into a legal boondoggle costing Florida millions, and have veto and reviewing and signing power over large DHS contracts and grants, which again is your job.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, Kristi Noem, twit that she is, has immense power and a budget, and she's financed and can make autonomous decisions with that budget.
DHS has critical agency components like the Secret Service, FEMA, Border Patrol, cybersecurity. So does Corey Lewandowski have national security experience, military experience, law enforcement experience?
No, Corey Lewandowski is one of Donald Trump's henchmen.
No, he is a lobbyist, a failed campaign manager, which is causing my constituents who are waiting for their FEMA dollars and me to wonder what are his qualifications for this job. So according to the Wall Street Journal, you and Mr. L have a close relationship.
Mr. Lewandowski.
That has made President Trump, quote, uncomfortable.
What are you saying, Chevy?
The president reportedly denounced Corey Lewandowski as your chief of staff due to reports of a romantic relationship between the two of you. So instead, you designated him as a special government and employee, a position he has had.
So hold on a second. Listen to what she says here. Salam Allah with the $5 super chat. Team DLZ, what's up, Playboy? Yes. Yes. Let me get 5 matches.
Reports of a romantic relationship that has made President Trump are his qualifications for this job.
So she asked what Lewandowski's qualifications are.
So according to the Wall Street Journal, you and Mr. L have a close relationship that has made President Trump, quote, uncomfortable.
So the relationship between Kristi Noem, secretary, and between Corey Lewandowski, who's a special government employee, makes Trump uncomfortable because they are...
The president reportedly denounced Corey Lewandowski as your chief of staff due to reports of a romantic relationship between the two of you. So instead, you designated him as a special government and employee, a position he has had well beyond the allowed 130 days and requires him to disclose if he is making money off of his position. Trump knows that this guy is shady. Corey has a decades-long record of physical battery, sexual harassment, illegal lobbying for a Venezuelan oil company, and bringing a loaded gun into a federal building. Despite being fired or removed from virtually every position he has ever held due to misconduct, he now wields unchecked, unconfirmed, undisclosed power over your department. This person has no experience running anything close to Department of Homeland Security or even advising someone in your position. He is unqualified, which again has...
Corey Lewandowski is a big doofus. Dan Hanlon with a $10 super chat. What's up, Hanlon? Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Hanlon. Yes.
Left my constituents and I wondering why he is your top official. So Secretary Noem...
He is her top official because they're making bread together. You know what I'm saying?
Any time during your tenure as Director of Department of Homeland Security, have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Mr. Chairman, I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today.
Reclaiming
and
my
ma'am,
time.
one thing that I would tell you is that he is a special government employee who works for the White House. There are thousands of them in the federal government.
So reclaiming
and
my
is an
time,
advisor
Secretary, it is
and has
okay for
no,
you to be
no
offended
authority
by
to
the
be
question.
making any
It is
decisions.
okay for you to
has
be
no
offended
authority
by the
to
question.
be making
But it
decisions
is also
and
a
putting
real
up your
question.
position. So what I would say
And
to
you
you
should be able to
is
answer
that
the
what we do at the Department of Homeland Security.
Boy, man, what happened to Kristi Noem? Love you too, Dan Hanlon. Thanks for your support through all the years, brother. Isn't it amazing that when Kristi Noem gets questioned as to whether or not she's having an affair, her husband's sitting in the gallery, she doesn't answer. She just turns into this motor mouth, diarrhea of the mouth.
Special government employee who works for the White House. There are thousands of them in the federal government.
So reclaiming
and
my
is
time,
an advisor
Secretary, it is
and has
okay for
no,
you to be
no
offended
authority
by
to
the
be
question.
making any
It is
decisions.
okay for you to
has
be
no
offended
authority
by the
to
question.
Be making
But it is
decisions
also
and
a
putting
real
up your
question.
position. So what I would say
And
to
you should be able to
is
answer
that
the
what we do at the Department of Homeland Security every single
and without
day,
any hesitation,
every single day is to protect
if
this
someone
country
is
and
asking
to make
if
decisions.
you or any federal official is sleeping with their subordinate, that should be the easiest. You should be wanting to answer that question.
Is garbage?
Because it is not about
It is
your sex
offensive
life.
that you have brought
It is
that up.
about your
So
judgment.
that kind of garbage
It is
has
about
been refuted
reclaiming
for
my
years,
time so
and
that
you
I
need
can
to
hear myself.
recognize-
Time belongs to the gentlelady from California, but it'd be nice if you would let her respond.
I will. I want to let you know it is about your judgment and decision-making. It is about the 260,000 employees that work under you that want to make sure that you are giving information and making decisions clearly. It is about conflict of interest. It is about a national security risk. Department of Homeland Security was created right after 9/11 to protect the homeland.
100%. Edie Smith Rains. Edie Rains with a $50 super chat. What's up, Playboy? What's up, Edie Rains? Good to see you, Edie. Good to see you.
DHS
And
has
thank you.
circulated an internal bulletin to law enforcement partners warning that the conflict of the war we're in could inspire lone actors or small-scale cyber activity inside the United States, according to a memo obtained by ABC News. So American lives are at risk. The people who work for you are at risk. And they want to know that the person at the top, you, are making decisions clearly, without any sort of cloudiness,
She's not.
and that they're your decisions because you're the secretary who
She's
was
compromised.
confirmed. That's what this is about.
She's compromised.
Saving the lives of Americans and not costing them millions of dollars and not having a secretary who's compromised.
And the reason why she's compromised is because she doesn't know what she's doing. And she gave $143 million to a company that was founded 8 days before that contract was awarded.
In her decision making. And Mr. Chair, before I yield my time, I would like to enter into the record some articles, and I'm asking for unanimous consent. Noem tightens her grip on DHS. Lewandowski fired FEMA admin.
Oh, that's what you were putting in there, Chevy. That's what you were putting in there. You were putting this in. Chevy listed all of these in the chat. I didn't hear this.
Enter into the record some articles, and I'm asking for unanimous
Miss Steele
consent.
Smith. No. What's going on, Miss Steele Smith? How are you? Good to see you.
Noem tightens her grip on DHS. Lewandowski fired FEMA admin.
Without
I'll say
objection.
Okay. The next one is Kristi Noem secretly took
Hey,
a
Jabro.
cut of political donations from ProPublica.
Without objection.
Kristi Noem fires pilot over a blanket, but is forced to reinstate him to fly home. Wall Street Journal.
Without objection.
Lewandowski taking out trash at Noem's D.C. home. Daily Beast.
Without objection.
Barbie's Mile High privacy chamber with alleged lover exposed. Wall Street Journal. How Corey Lewandowski became Kristi Noem's gatekeeper at DHS.
Without objection.
Wow. So what they're laying out here is that Kristi Noem is having an affair with Corey Lewandowski.
A pilot fired over Kristi Noem's missing blanket and the constant chaos inside DHS. Wall Street Journal. Police charged Trump campaign manager with assault. PBS News.
Without objection.
Woman who accused Corey Lewandowski of assault speaks out. I don't want this to happen to anyone else. CBS News. Lewandowski's firm quietly inked deal with Venezuela-owned company Politico.
Objection.
List of U.S. cities raising security amid Iran conflict. Newsweek.
Objection.
Kristi Noem, I have a few more, I'm sorry. Kristi Noem misled Congress yesterday about top aide's role in DHS contracts.
Objection.
Policy number 10271 from ICE. It is an anti-fraternization policy prohibiting romantic or sexual relationships between supervisors and their subordinates. And with that, I yield.
Without objection, gentleman from Texas recognized 5 minutes.
Wow, let's go. Let me do one more of these. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Noem, you're in charge of your agency. The buck stops with you, correct?
I'm in charge of my agency, what?
The buck stops with you,
Yes,
correct?
correct.
And you had to swear an oath to the Constitution.
I mean, that's the other thing that really kind of gets me about her, right? Like, I come on camera, I've had cold sores, I've had pimples, I've had, I've been fat, I've been skinny, right? But she goes on camera and she's like a Kardashian, where that's not what she looks like. Everything about her is fake. And it just is like...
Constitution before you took this job, right?
Correct.
So one of the most sacrosanct ideals of our nation, enshrined in our Constitution, is freedom, is liberty.
Mm-hmm.
It is an idea that the government has a very high standard should they take away liberty and freedom from an American citizen. How many?
But that, just so you guys know, right? Like, you guys know I'm a fierce centrist. I don't align with either side. And what he just said right there, I think he's a Democrat, right? What he just said is such a fucking lie. Put a 1 in the chat if what he says right here is a lie.
Ideals of our nation.
One of the ideals of our nation, listen to this lie he tells.
Enshrined in our Constitution is freedom, is liberty.
Mm-hmm.
It is an idea that the government has a very high standard should they take away liberty and freedom from an American citizen.
That absolutely is not true. The government has a very low standard with how they can incarcerate you off the street for no reason. Put a 1 in the chat if he is lying. What a liar.
How many U.S. citizens has DHS detained as of last October?
Senator, if you're talking about detained and arrested, is that those that have been violating and obstructing our law enforcement operations? Is that what you're referencing? Because it could be hundreds and hundreds. We have faced violent riots across the country,
you are
specifically in Portland and in Minneapolis.
The only people you've detained are committing crimes, but you and I both know that's not true.
I haven't said that. I didn't say that. I asked which ones you were referencing.
Have you detained?
I can't give you an accurate number because we've literally detained and arrested many for those obstruction of law enforcement operations, and also
public
others
records,
that had probable
let me tell
cause,
you what my staff researched.
and then released.
May I continue? Public records are showing that over 100 and
and he's such, like, if you're not disgusted with what the right has done with the pedophiles and the wars that they've done, then when you go to the left, you get asshats like this guy. That's your other choice. We have the most authoritarian, police bootlicking, warmongering, toxic masculinity, which is a term I don't even use except for Pete Hegseth. So disgusting to the right. And then to the left, this is your choice. This fraud right here.
70 incidents.
He's such a
of your
poser.
agency.
This guy's such a poser.
Taking away the liberties and freedoms of American citizens. This includes 20 children, 20 American kids that your agency detained. How long can your agency detain an American citizen?
We don't detain children and separate them from their parents. Those parents have chosen
You're telling me
to
under
keep their
oath
child
right now.
with
Hold on.
them.
I just want to be clear. You're telling me under oath right now that your agency has not detained American children.
Those parents have chosen to keep their children with them. We don't separate families like the Biden administration
Let me
did.
continue.
We keep them together, and parents have the option on if they want.
You never saw the pictures with him and his fiance when he proposed to his fiance? Go look at those pictures and then tell me he's not a poser. I'll pull them up if you don't believe me.
How
child
long
with them
do
or not with them?
detentions last when you detain an American citizen? How long do they last?
We don't detain American citizens, and if there's probable cause.
Let me give you, because you are not speaking truthfully under oath. Isaias Pena Salcedo, a U.S. citizen living in California, was detained more than 70 hours, almost 3 days, even after he showed ICE agents his passport. My colleague, Senator Blumenthal, gave you example after example. He brought people here who had something else we Americans consider sacrosanct, our home, our property. Your masked agents jumping out of unmarked cars have broken into considerable property damage occurring into American citizens' homes. Case after case of this, and you sit here before me and claim the buck stops with you, but you don't even know the names of these individuals. I ran New Jersey's largest municipal police department.
Well, there it is right there. And people are like, why don't you like him, Chille? He ran New Jersey's largest municipal police department. There it is right there.
My officers engaged in misconduct, you can be damn well sure I knew about it and I investigated it.
Oh my God, there's second lie he's done. Put a one in the chat if he just lied that he ran the largest municipal police department in New Jersey. And when there was corruption with his cops, he knew about it and he investigated it. Okay, Mr. Booker, here's the gigantic lie again. Let me play it for you again.
After case of this, and you sit here before me and claim the buck stops with you, but you don't even know the names of these individuals. I ran New Jersey's largest municipal.
The buck stops with you, and then he goes like this. The one area in America where we don't have any accountability, the one area where we have no accountability is policing. And he says,
police department. When my officers engaged in misconduct, you can be damn well sure I knew about it and I investigated it. And yet you have situations where your officers are...
Put a one in the chat if that's some bullshit. If that is some my face hurts from smiling because that's such bullshit. It's so funny.
Violating the sanctity of people's homes, arresting and detaining them, and holding their children. And you're acting as if you don't know about it and saying that under oath.
Oh, John Eagle's here. What's up, John Eagle?
Miramar Martinez, who is here right now, on her way to church, an American citizen going to church, not just to worship, but to donate clothing. Your officers shot her multiple times. The case was thrown out of court, and you represent here that you don't know about it. In New Jersey, are you aware of your officers' activities in places like schools? Are you aware of your officers' activities at our public schools?
Sir, we don't go into schools and do targeted law enforcement operations. We do targeted law enforcement operations like other agencies.
So you're telling me that now here's the other side. You guys just heard me call out the liar Cory Booker. Now here's Kristi Noem lying, saying that they don't go to schools to do targeted. We have seen them go to schools to do targeted enforcement, where they use the kid or the parent as a lure to get the other one out. We've seen it. It's been documented.
ICE officers entered the grounds of a high school in Minneapolis. That's a fact. Elementary school children in New Jersey are terrified of your agents.
I would rather, listen, I would rather go I would rather vote Democrat across the board for the midterms than to have this hard right craziness continue. And I haven't voted Democrat since 2009. So I haven't voted Republican either. But
when they came upon a school bus stop, they fled. Another school, a higher education, Columbia University, your agents reportedly lied to students, told them they were searching for a missing person to gain access to private spaces, to non-public areas of campus. Secretary Noem, these are kids. They're terrified in our communities. How do you think that affects them when children in my state go running, fleeing, and often you all pursue children, throwing them to the ground, getting on their backs, putting them in handcuffs?
Putting them in torture
I want to talk
cuffs.
to you about this incredible empire of for-profit companies that are profiting at rates we've never seen, and the way you're using money. Let's drill down on the warehouses that DHS has been buying over the last several months, totaling hundreds of millions of dollars. Are you familiar with the acquisition of a warehouse DHS recently bought in Roxbury Township, New Jersey?
Yes.
You are familiar with that?
Mm-hmm. I'm
Do you
familiar
know
that
how
it's...
much you spent for it?
No, sir, I do not.
$129.3 million. Do you know how much it was assessed for in New Jersey?
Sir, we're purchasing centers across the country to build efficiency into our detention system.
Efficiency to
so
me.
that
No, hold on. But you can't spend $100 million extra on something and then say we're building it for efficiency.
Much it was assessed for in New Jersey.
Listen.
Sir, we're purchasing centers across the country to build efficiency into our...
We're purchasing centers across the country to build efficiency. But they're overpaying $100 million. DaNeLLe BrOwN made it to the live. Right on.
Efficiency to me, as a person who's run tight budgets before and had taxpayer dollars, you paid $129.3 million
$100 million
for a facility
extra
in my state that was assessed at less than half of that, at $62 million. To work for a president that says he's a great deal maker, I can't believe he thinks that you're a great deal maker. But what's worse than that is that the Roxbury Township Council, comprised entirely of Republicans, voted unanimously early this year to oppose that facility. My office tried to facilitate a meeting between DHS and local officials so that ICE could hear their concerns, yet DHS did not even respond. That is unacceptable, that you all would enter a town, you wouldn't even follow environmental reviews or have conversations with local officials about the resources, from emergency resources to fire resources and more, that you're going to pull down. You didn't even have a conversation. Secretary Noem, do you comply with court orders?
Yes, we do comply.
Your agency complies with court orders.
Yes, we comply with federal court orders.
You were saying under oath that you do, and yet we know in January the chief judge, Republican appointed for the Federal District of Minnesota, found that ICE had violated nearly 100 court orders since January 1st alone. In my state of New Jersey, last month, the chief of staff to Deputy Attorney General admitted in my state that in the New Jersey District Court that the government had violated 52 separate court orders, all involving cases where immigrants successfully challenged the legality of their detention. So this, again, is a constitution that you swore an oath to, and one of the most important ideals is that no one is above the law. You are.
I mean, Booker has all of the right ideas and intentions, but when he says things, he just comes off like a moron, because the idea that nobody is above the law, we are watching it with the Epstein files, that there is a group of people who are above the law. We saw it with Hunter Biden. We saw it with Hillary Clinton. We saw it with George W. Bush, who committed war crimes and should be hung.
Are violating the separation of powers, violating court orders. and routinely violating the civil rights of Americans. This is a reckless and out-of-control agency that you are responsible for. You seem to have no situational awareness whatsoever of some of the most egregious examples of Americans being completely attacked, violated, undermined in accordance with our laws by their own government. And this is what is phenomenal to me, is immigration.
What's up, Paul? How you doing, buddy? I remember you.
Immigration was your president's #1 issue, overwhelmingly popular with the American people. But now it's overwhelmingly unpopular. And it's not because you are deporting dangerous people that everybody here wants out of our country.
Right, Chevy?
No.
Right.
It's because you're going into our schools. You're terrorizing our children. You're detaining children. You're arresting Americans.
Yes.
You're breaking into our homes. You're terrorizing our streets. You're violating our rights to peacefully protest again and again and again.
None of
and then
that
when
is
a court tells you
None
to
of
stop,
that is true.
and then when a court
You are
tells
trying
you to stop,
to impede
you
us
violate
from enforcing
judges'
the law
orders. Not in
and
a
getting
partisan
dangerous
way,
criminals off of our streets
Republican-appointed
so
and
we don't have more
Democratic-appointed.
families like the ones that are sitting
Sit
behind
there
me.
and tell me that
Lost
you are
their children. They're
responsible
gone forever.
for the running of your agency when you're not even aware. Either you are utterly incompetent or you are violating laws with impunity. You should step down from your position. If you don't, you should be removed by this president. And if not, Congress should impeach you.
I appreciate the encouragement.
She's terrible. She's horrible.
Trick questions here. The American people have a right to know the answers to this. These are senior officials in the Trump administration. This is not a game, Secretary. I'm Attorney General. My apologies, I couldn't tell.
Ooh, stuck her.
By 2008, we knew that Epstein was a convicted sexual abuser. And we now know that Lutnick went to Epstein's Island in 2012. How was that not a deal breaker for the president? And why aren't you asking questions of the Commerce Secretary about what he saw when he was at the island, which he lied about not ever going to? Why are you not asking these questions?
Why doesn't Howard Lutnick resign? We know he was hanging out with Epstein and on Epstein Island. He should resign because it's shamelessness. Shamelessness is in style.
I see that my time is almost expired, so I will say this. Do the right thing, Attorney General. Meet with the survivors. They have been asking for a year. Meet with the survivors. Do the right thing. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. The gentleman.
Yeah, I think you're right. 360 Swerves put a $10 super chat in and said, something tells me things are only going to get worse. 360 Swerve, it's going to get worse, dude.
From South Carolina is recognized for 5 minutes.
May I have 20 seconds of his time?
So that'd be up to the gentleman, but.
Absolutely, Madam. Thank you. Thank you. I was curious if you, Congresswoman, asked Bill Clinton that. Didn't see one tweet, not one. I didn't see one tweet when Joe Biden was in office about Bill Clinton.
What are you talking about? And then people will say, what about, Biden or Clinton or Obama? Hang them all, dude. Put a 1 in the chat if you're for rounding up all of them. Put a 1 in the chat if the Democrats didn't release the Epstein files because they're in it. Put a 1 in the chat if the Republicans didn't want the Epstein files released because they're in it. These people who come in and say shit like this, like, what about Obama or what about Biden or what about the Democrats? Brother, anybody who's involved with raping children or marketing them or trafficking them or eating them or killing them has to go down. So get your bipartisan politic bullshit out of here, dude. What about the Democrats? Why didn't they release the files? How fucking thick are you, bro? How dense are you? Because they're in them too. You fucking Einstein, you fucking genius, you're the smartest fucking guy I've ever heard. Why didn't the Democrats release the files? Because they're in them. Because the Democrats are in them. Yeah, you think so? Maybe, buddy, but turn on your camera, see how many people show up for you.
Didn't ask Merrick Garland anything about Epstein, not once. when he was
weak sauce.
And also, I want the record to reflect that, you know, with this
Did she say weak sauce?
didn't ask Merrick Garland anything about Epstein, not once, when he was
weak sauce.
And also,
Someone said weak sauce.
I want the record to reflect that, you know, with this anti-Semitic culture right now, she voted.
With this anti-Semitic culture, what are you talking about? The Israelis protested not being able to rape prisoners. That's not anti-Semitic. That's a disgusting culture. Has nothing to do with Americans or Jews. Has to do with the Israeli Zionists who want to be able to rape prisoners of war that use children for target practice. That's not anti-Semitic. I'm of Jewish descent. I don't hate my own heritage.
Against a resolution condemning.
Oh, he is Jewish. I just want to be clear.
To reflect that, you know, with this anti-Semitic culture right now.
My God, did she not just lean in to whatever she could say? The government, just so you know, which we know now, our entire media, everything, movies, news, film, the internet, Facebook, we just found out, right? Facebook was a government project that was given to Mark Zuckerberg. The whole story about the Winklevoss twins and how Mark Zuckerberg stole it, all fake, all lies, all made up lies. Why do you think the Winklevoss twins are the first crypto billionaires? Because they got their little cookie.
She voted against a resolution contempt when he was
weak sauce.
And also, I want the record to reflect that, you know, with this anti-Semitic culture right now, she voted against a resolution condemning.
Oh, he is Jewish. I just want to be clear.
Do you want to go there, Attorney General? Or do you want to go there? Are you serious? Talking about anti-Semitism to a woman who lost her grandfather in the Holocaust? Really?
The committee will be.
She lost her grandfather in the Holocaust, and Pam Bondi's trying to pull the anti-Semitic culture shit with her. I'm pretty sure she's against anti-Semitism.
Talk to Jared Wise about anti-Semitism.
The fact of the matter is that you will be remembered as one of the worst attorney generals in history. An attorney general who has prioritized obstruction over justice, corruption over the law, fealty to the president over loyalty to the Constitution. And Mr. Chairman, I will yield.
Gentlelady yields.
That guy, James Tillrico, he just beat Jasmine Crockett in the Senate race for the Democrat side. James Tillrico, if he wins the Senate seat in Texas, there's a good chance that he should run for president. He's a really good dude. James Tillrico is clean.
Gentleman from Missouri is recognized. Excuse me, gentleman from Kansas, the Attorney General, former Attorney General, Mr. Schmidt is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and General Bondi, thanks for being here. Did you have anything you wanted to say before we talk?
I do. Thank you, Congressman. Thank you, my friend, for many years. I find it interesting that she didn't even want to try, Congresswoman Crockett, to ask any questions, because she certainly did not condemn her leader, Hakeem Jeffries, for taking money from Jeffrey Epstein after Epstein was convicted. And I will be brief to give you your time, Congressman. This is what she didn't want to talk about. Texas, from Cuba, convicted, homicide, arson, weapon offense.
Convicted. You know, so what are we talking about? Convict some of these perpetrators that rape these women that are sitting behind you, that you refuse to even acknowledge they are here.
Merrick Garland sat in this chair twice.
Attorney General Bondi,
no, can I finish my answer?
No, I'm going to reclaim my time because I asked you a specific question that I would like you to answer, which is, will you turn to the survivors? This is not about anybody that came before you. It is about you taking responsibility for your Department of Justice and the harm that it has done to the survivors who are standing right behind you and are waiting for you to turn to them and apologize for what your Department of Justice has done.
Members get to ask the questions, the witness get to answer in the way they want to answer. The Attorney General can
that's
respond.
not accurate, Mr. Chairman.
Because she doesn't like the answer.
Time.
So,
Mr. Chairman,
why
I have asked
didn't she ask Merrick Garland this?
I am
Twice,
reclaiming
when he
my
sat in my
time, and
chair.
when I
will
reclaim my
continue to
time,
answer.
it
Mr. Chairman, the gentlelady has
I'm
reclaimed
not
her
going
time.
to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
The time belongs to the time
Gonna
belongs
get
to
in
the
the
gentlelady.
gutter.
The gentlelady has 17
Gonna
seconds.
get in the gutter, she said?
You're not going to answer this question, so let me just
Chairman,
say
I'll
this.
direct it to
What a
you.
massive
No, I'm
cover-up.
answering a
Mr.
question.
Chairman, will you restore her time? The witness
I'm
is
not going to get in
interrupted.
the gutter with this woman. She's doing theatrics.
I'm
Chairman
not
Jordan,
gonna
I'm
get
not
into
going to
the-
get in the gutter with these people.
How many-
I'm going to answer the question.
Why does she keep saying the gutter? What are you talking about, Pam Bondi? We live in the gutter. It's all about reading the details in the DMs where someone screenshots your conversation so that people will talk about you. Our entire country has turned into Jerry from Gary Bryant in the chat. Our whole country has turned into that.
If you indicted. Again, the
I'm
time
not going to get in the gutter. I'm not going to get in the gutter. Pam Bondi, you came from a gutter. You're going back to a gutter. You live in a gutter.
Reclaiming my time. The time belongs.
I think it's very interesting. I think it's very interesting.
Oh, now she's Gavin Newsom. I think it's very interesting.
Talks about they indicted. The president said they indicted him twice.
Mr. Chairman, please stop the clock and stop the clock and restore his time.
Okay, here we go with these
Committee will be in order.
theatrics.
The time belongs to the gentleman from New York. We will give you a few more seconds. We will do that. But when you ask the question, the witness gets to answer. You may not like the answer, but she gets to answer. The question was, how many of Epstein's...
They don't like the answer, Chairman,
my time.
because it's honest.
Reclaiming-
So he asked a 4-minute question.
Restore 45
and
seconds,
I
Mr.
am
Nadler,
going
please,
to
Mr. Chairman.
answer.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch. Not on our time. No way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
You're a lawyer, not even a lawyer.
Committee will be in order.
Time, and I should get back at least 45 seconds.
Will you create a joint task force of the Department of Justice and governors and state attorney generals and district attorneys across the country to investigate the crimes that have taken place against these victims and more than 1,000 like them? The DOJ is not doing its job. Will you create a task force with state and local law enforcement to make that happen?
Gentlelady can respond. She wants to.
Thank you, Chairman. He called Chase Mulligan a wild goose chase and didn't even know who he was. He is a defendant in your own
Chairman,
district who preyed on girls.
Mr. Chairman.
Well, you know what? If he were part of the Epstein investigation, you wouldn't do anything about it.
Online chat rooms and committed sextortion. Yet he didn't even know in your tiny little district who he was.
Mr. Chairman, she's embarrassing you.
He's about to be
This is your committee, and she is embarrassing you.
It's my time. Within 40 minutes, you asked me a question. Within 40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
There was one redaction out
Where
of
he's
over
listed as a
4,700,
co-conspirator.
and we invited you
Show the
in.
video.
This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to.
Oh,
you're
she
a
falls
failed
back onto
politician.
that. You're a failed politician. She falls back onto that, huh?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Noem, thank you for being here. I'm really glad that a lot of my Republican colleagues talked about the disaster that Biden and Mayorkas, your predecessor, created. It was absurd. You heard the things from Senator Brett, people that came over here who themselves were traumatized by the very people who then come to this country and traumatize American citizens. You heard Senator Schmidt saying the same thing. A lot of us are very frustrated with the disaster that President Biden left behind and a failed DHS. It's why I'm angry, and it's why I've been critical of you, Secretary Noem, because we're missing an opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the reasons President Trump won a year and a half ago is because people were sick and tired of a Democratic administration's open border policy and allowing millions of people to come to this country, 1.7 million called gotaways. We don't even know where they are, but we know when you pay a premium to a cartel to get them into this country, they're bad people. Now, why have I been critical of Secretary Noem? Because I don't think we're focusing on, we have limited resources. ICE can't be everywhere at once. There's very few people in Capitol Hill that support law enforcement more than me, including the sworn ICE officers.
So he starts off by saying that there's very few people who support cops more than him. because we just blindly support whatever law has been created by whichever political group of people, whichever number of House of, or Congress created that law. We have to respect all laws. And he respects law enforcement no matter what.
In fact, I've just been told, fortunately, in about a week and a half, we're going to get a plaque on the wall over the Capitol thanking the Capitol police officers and all the agencies that responded on January 6th. All those thugs have actually been pardoned, and yet we haven't thanked the Capitol police officers for their work here. So when I say I'm unapologetically pro-law enforcement, you can count in every single sworn officer in Homeland Security. So why am I...
So he's unapologetic pro-cop no matter what.
Capitol police officers for their work here. So when I say I'm unapologetically pro-law enforcement, you can count in every...
Unapologetically pro-law enforcement. What does that mean exactly? That you just back cops no matter what, even when they kill people?
Single sworn officer in Homeland Security. So why am I disappointed with Secretary Noem? Because we're not going after enough people who did this damage at the expense of running numbers that Stephen Miller wants out of the White House. We just want numbers. We want 1,000 a day, 6,000 a day, 9,000 a day, because numbers matter, right? No, they don't matter. Quality matters, not quantity, quality. And what we've seen is a disaster. Under your leadership, Ms. Noem, a disaster. What we've seen is innocent people getting detained that turn out are American citizens. I could talk about the culture that's been created here with Stephen Miller aiding and abetting. I heard first reports that he was the one that said it was a domestic terrorist situation where 2 people lost their lives in Minneapolis. I've heard that report. Maybe you can refute it. I don't know that we'll have time for you to respond.
I mean, and just take a look. Just take a look at the way she chooses to present herself in front of a congressional hearing. Her hair flopped to the side. She has the just got hair. I mean, like, put your hair up and look like a professional. Instead, she wants to look like a Barbie doll. It's just, she's supposed to be the Secretary of the Homeland Security.
Respond, because I'm giving you a performance evaluation here. I'm not looking for a response. I've heard that report. Maybe you can refute it. I don't know that we'll have time for you to respond, because I'm giving you a performance evaluation here. I'm not looking for a response. And I'm saying, Ms. Noem, that time after time after time I've been disappointed. But before I get back to looking at the vicious people that did this damage to these families, I want to talk a minute about FEMA. You have a policy right now that anything over $100,000 has to go through your desk for approval.
So
I asked my staff.
FEMA is the Federal Emergency Management. So anything over $100,000 has to go across her desk. Well, let me tell you something. A lot of things when it comes to Federal Emergency Management are over $100,000, meaning you're going to create a bottleneck on her desk where she has to sign off on them for anything over $100,000. Well, she may have on her desk 600 items.
Because I'm a management consultant, I don't try to do cheap shots in here, but the facts do not lie. This is your administration for FEMA response. This is President Trump's first administration. Which one would you like to have? If you're a state that has a $60 billion disaster, your biggest disaster in South Dakota that I can tell that when you were an elected official was about $500 million. So 1/100th of this single storm where thousands of people are hurting in North Carolina and you're just barely catching up. This is what competent FEMA leadership looks like. This is what incompetent FEMA leadership looks like. And people are hurting in Western North Carolina from the most significant storm they've ever experienced. This is what we need more of. I'm convinced you can't do it. If you're requesting a review of $100,000 and up, then it begs the question, why? Why would you be involved in that? Why would that be a policy? And in a minute, I'll ask about some people that are involved, some special government employees. Why are they involved in it? Thank you.
Senator.
She just, it's a constant, never-ending grind, never-ending grind. I'm going to switch gears here a little bit. This is from my man Chevy. My man
Okay.
Chevy made a song here.
Yes.
Can you guys do me a favor? Can you put Team DLZ in the chat? Can you put Team DLZ in the chat? Are you subscribed to the channel? Did you hit the like button? Did you hit subscribe? Did you hit the like button?
Police state. Terry. Ohio. Do it now, the like button. On me, on my on me, on my. Hey, stop. Turn a V.
Maryland versus Wilson.
Survivor recording the scene, keeping it clean. Public duty, know what I mean. Wait.
Put Team DLZ in the chat. Put Team DLZ in the chat. Chevy, you're going to love it, dude. We got a new trifold coming out. That's why I haven't been talking about trifolds at all, because we have a new trifold coming out this week. Sally Stanley in the chat. What's up, Playboy? Good to see you, Slot. Thanks for coming, Jeff. Appreciate you being here, man. Francisco, thanks for coming by. Superstitious Wolf. Yeah, it's just, listen, this is just artificial intelligence music that Chevy builds, because Chevy is so good at writing songs. And so this is like his pop version. I like the blues a little better, but this one's fine too. Deleted user, Team DLZ rolling through the chat. I've got to get the flock out of Dodge. You guys, I appreciate you guys coming so much. I really do. I got Charlie pulling on me right now to take him outside. So I don't know. American is in the chat. Eric can do it. Listen, I got to get the flock out of here. If I don't get out of here right now, my dog is going to poop on my floor. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you all. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later, Gators.